Right, that's Doom 64 completed, but what shall I do now? I know, let's play it all over again, but this time around, let's make it much more fun. Aha, here it is, the ultimate cheat code. Question mark, B.
6 hours later.
And done. Now it's my turn to bring the pain, but before I do that, I have one question. How many of you out there actually remember cheat codes within the world of gaming?
Yeah!
Excellent, quite a few of you put your hands up, which is always good to see. However, these days, cheat codes are a thing of the past to a certain degree, and it's got me wondering why.
Neat.
But before we find out that answer, join me as we go back in time to learn more, as well as look at some infamous cheat codes along the way. Ever since the first video game appeared in the illustrious world of gaming, this form of entertainment has gone to become hugely popular with each generation. And over the decades, legendary titles would find themselves being released for the many computer systems within the homes of gamers. And behind all these fantastic titles were a group of hard-working individuals, ranging from artists, writers, developers, and even games testers.
I am invincible!
Now for us gamers, we see the final product of months if not years of hard work. And thanks to the help of a certain tool, this whole process of video game creation doesn't take as long as it could. And what may be this wonder of the digital realm, I hear you ask? Well, is the ever helpful cheat code.
Nice.
Eventually, gamers figured out these cheat codes through a combination of buttons on their controllers, essentially exploiting the game for their own gratification.
I am smart. It's the marquee.
But before I carry on, I feel it necessary to mention one of the most infamous cheat codes of all time. And that's right, I'm talking about the legendary Konami code. The Konami code was first used for Gradius on the NES, but it was made famous when it appeared within Contra.
Not bad, not bad.
Such was the power of the Konami code that it will have its own video in the future, so best keep an eye out for that one.
Okay.
But anyway, when it came to cheat codes, these became available for us gamers to use thanks to the likes of the internet, TV shows, and even video game magazines, which sometimes, often not, would come bundled with cheat bibles.
Yes!
These small books came jam-packed with cheat codes, and if you had your hand on one of these when growing up, you had two choices to make: share your pearls of wisdom or give yourself the advantage against the naive. Now when it comes to cheat codes, I've always been under the impression that you can only use them once you've completed the game. However, there were certain titles that justified the art of cheating. And this couldn't be more true when it came to Mortal Kombat. At the time, this legend of the arcade was under scrutiny regarding its over-the-top violence and gore. But when Mortal Kombat made that transition onto home video game consoles, the blood was missing. But luckily, thanks to a certain code, gamers for Sega's Black Box of Dreams could overwrite this censorship. The infamous blood code for Mortal Kombat was just one small piece of ammo in the console wars. Essentially, it was Sega's way of giving Nintendo that one finger salute.
Ay, caramba!
With cheat codes now a staple within the world of gaming, some of the classic games of the 16-bit era and beyond would become infamous for their cheat codes. For example, when it came to Jedi Knight 2, its dismemberment cheat showed exactly what would happen when a lightsaber came into contact with a stormtrooper. And of course you can't forget perhaps one of the biggest moments in all of Street Fighter 2 history, where gamers actually got to play as the legendary fighter Akuma. However, to do this, gamers had to know the exact sequence and timing to pull this cheat code off, which, as you can imagine, was very difficult to do. Now let's slow things down for just a moment and talk about the infinite money cheat for The Sims, which of course allow for some of the greatest moments within this classic game. However, my question for you lot is, how many of you actually trapped your neighbours within the walls of your home? What the hell, guys, come on. Actually, I'm guilty of it too, but anyway, as much fun as cheat codes actually are, there were a few titles that warned gamers against their use. and there's one title in particular that comes to mind. The amazing Banjo-Kazooie for the N64 was an adventure game with a difference, but when gamers attempted to enter cheat codes, they did so at their own risk. Using more than 2 cheat codes would cause Gruntilda to delete the save file, and I know of some gamers who were generally annoyed by this, although they were warned, so I don't feel sorry for them. Now, you can't make a video about cheat codes without mentioning a certain gaming series from the legendary developer Rockstar. When GTA 3, Vice City and San Andreas graced the digital realm of fun, gamers were able to input cheats that made the whole process of open world gaming even more entertaining. The likes of the tank, all the weapons and even flying cars made this trio of games legendary for the PS2. However, like I've just mentioned before, cheat codes come with their own risks, especially when your memory card becomes corrupt.
No! God, please, no!
It's never a good thing, but anyway, eventually the process of making video games became much easier for game developers, and alongside this, cheat codes would slowly begin their demise. They would be replaced with achievements and trophies, and some games such as Saints Row 3 and even GTA 5 would allow gamers to cheat to a certain degree, but the heyday of cheat codes was now coming to an end. Nowadays, as I mentioned earlier, cheat codes may no longer appear in modern gaming. However, they'll always be a part of video game history, with some of them becoming infamous with gamers of all ages. As I mentioned earlier, the Konami code is probably one of the most infamous cheat codes of all time. However, there's a list of codes that are forever stuck in my brain, especially when it comes to Doom. IDDQD.
What?
Did I phase in and out again? It always happens whenever I mention Doom. IDKFA. Now, some of the greatest moments in all of video games have been down to cheats. But my question for everybody at home today is, what is your favourite cheat code of all time? But before I end the video, there is one cheat code that I feel warrants a mention. All I can say is it revolves around Lara Croft on the PS1, which certain naughty gamers try to do so in the comfort of their own bedrooms. Anyway, come back next time where I take a look at my top 10 classic racing games. However, there's a slight twist. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next game. Right, back to Doom 64.